It's a Friday, and we're talking football non-stop. All football, all the time. This is another edition of Football Friday with JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We are at Roy High School. Any guesses on what color the track is on a 95-degree day? It is. I can feel the heat coming off of that black track, right? The Royals. It's a weird mistress. School colors.
These are my colors, though.
Black and gold is awesome.
These are my colors, though.
But listen, you're not gonna have a gold track, so you're gonna have a black track, and then I'm over here.
If I was the AD
sweating
over
my butt
here,
off.
that's where my money would be allocated. Let's switch this track, baby.
We're gonna go full gold.
Bright yellow.
We run on gold, baby.
Oh, and listen, and
metallic. Like sprinkle some leaf in there.
There you go. And it's the yellow brick road. Like, I mean, you got
it lights up like Michael Jackson, Billie Jean video.
Yes, we got all sorts of things going on. Hey, you know what? You're welcome, Roy High School. It's the kind of brain trust you get on a day like this. Yes, it's a warm day. We're almost to October, and it's going to be warm for the next little while here. And our Football Fridays march on. We are excited about this one. You guys are going to call the Woods Cross Roy game. By the way, last week, okay, I forgot to even tell you this. You remember last week we hit done with the Weber and Davis game up at Weber. I am
barn burner, by the way.
It was awesome. It was a really, really fun game. But we leave the stadium, or I'm trying to leave the stadium, and I told you I parked a million miles away, and it was homecoming, and they shut the entire gates on that side for the fireworks.
Oh, yeah. Oops.
So, first of all, they turn the lights off. I almost fall down the stairs. All right? So they turn the lights off while I'm, like, walking down the stairs with my backpack. All the lights in the stadium just go boom and go black because they do this thing called the fifth quarter. And it was homecoming. And they're doing, I mean, a legit fireworks show. When I say legit, I mean, like, it was – like it was going off.
Was it Weber that we went to a few years ago that did that?
Yeah, it's Weber who.
So they do it all the time. Okay,
yes,
yeah, I remember. I was just like, I almost fell down the stairs.
By the way,
the fire marshal,
just great school environment. The student sections. It's just a great place to go watch a high school football game.
And I was locked in to watch the fireworks show.
They definitely went to Wyoming.
I couldn't do it. So there was that, and then also I had an incident on the way over here today. I had to confess to you guys. I avoided a road rage incident, okay?
I was like, don't you live around the corner?
A gentleman pulled out in front of me, just right out here in Roy, okay? Gentleman pulled out right in front of me, okay? And my car has one of those things that, like, it stops for you if it's close enough of the thing. And it was that.
Still electric vehicle.
It's as close as the like, that's how close it came. And he did the, like, I'm sorry thing. And I don't even have time to honk, but I have my hands up like the, what are you doing, dude? He goes from the sorry to seeing me do the what are you doing?
Oops.
And then he goes 1,000% the other direction and double birds, rolls the window down as he's going by. He pulled in front of me, by the way.
Yeah.
And I thought that was an interesting move. I was like, that's the kind of aggression that you want on your you want that kind of aggression on your
defense.
defense.
That irrational, yeah.
You don't want it on the road, but you do want
it's like a punt gunner.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Like that guy was like he was obviously the one the wrong and then doubled down with
or is he the wedge buster?
He might be the wedge buster.
Is he the punt gunner?
Maybe he played special teams in high school. We don't know.
Can I give you guys some insight, dude? Gennaro Guilford this week gave a little bit of a peek behind the curtain on Parker Kingston.
By the way, how have we not mentioned him yet?
Oh my gosh,
he's a Roy Royal.
He is a Roy Royal. And Parker Kingston, by the way, the barf seen around the world after that punt return, General Guilford mentioned that there was so it was not the punt return team that was on the field. It was the starting defense.
Yeah.
And they were doing they were doing punt safe, right? And they were just like, hey, let's go. And Jay Hill said, I actually like that. Now listen, you played in defenses that were run by this cat, so maybe this is the deal. They said, we're just going to do punt safe. We're going to make sure they don't run the fake here. But also, I like that you guys are on the field for this because you guys like to go out there and bang heads. And
it's the D lineman.
Right, and make blocks.
I'm telling you, it's the D lineman.
Like
they take people's head. They try because they want to be the Ed Reeds that get that blindside block on special. They want to do that so bad.
And so unbeknownst to them, that wall that was set up, number one, was not something that you practice on the safe kick.
Why not? We do.
No, I'm saying like the starting defense isn't like necessarily because the wall wasn't set up because the ball was muffed on that side of. I'm just saying on that side of the field. The wall was set up by the fact that Parker
the wall
Keeson
was not a play call. The wall was a natural occurrence.
It was just like, oh, he was on that side, and then they were like, oh, okay, I'll start blocking right here. Like, this cat missed the whole punt. And Parker even brought it up, too. And he even said, you guys have no idea how hard it is to
avoid fatties?
Well, to collect punts, to collect the punt return, right? The ball.
Well, he got a lucky bounce.
He did. After he muffed it.
That bounce, oh, my gosh. I'm just
it popped up right to him.
How did those stars align for that?
Well, whatever it was quite a fun. It was quite a fun play to watch.
Wait, did we ever get was the puke caused by the 170-yard sprint, or was it the celebration after?
All of it. I think it was all part of it.
Because I've never run 170 yards on a football field, but there's been some like big plays where you're gassed, and then your teammates are so hyped and they get on top of you, and you can't like actually start your recovery, and that's what pushes you into that like panic mode of like get off me.
We talked to Fesi Satake this week, he coaches the returners, which has not been like he was like I was beside myself. We scored, but man, I wanted to throttle that kid. Like we were. He's like I'm going over to him, and everybody's celebrating, and I'm waiting for the right moment to go in there to tell
Bart
him
Simpson.
that was awful. Like that was crazy. I can't believe you scored that.
From the muff to the almost
dropping it before the line,
almost dropping it before you get to the end zone.
You're making a coach nuts, and so he said something along the lines of like. Oh, no, Connor Pay brought it up. He goes, I was walking over there to congratulate him after everybody else did, but he was barfing already before that. I said, I'm going to give him a minute. I'm going to probably walk away from it. Well, first he thought there was something bad because there's two trainers right by him. He goes, hey, oh, man, what's going on? But then he saw the Taco Bell 5-layer burritos on the ground.
Cougar tails he snuck in at
halftime. It was the vanilla Cougar tails.
Is that what the Kansas State fan had to scrape up and use? Is that where we found?
He says he's going to pay up on that bet on Saturday.
Liv Moss.
He says he's going to pay up on that bet on Saturday. Weirdest live stream ever.
Okay. The thing is, he's popular as crap for that because he's doing a whole montage all week.
Yeah.
He's freezing the burrito.
Okay.
He's doing the bag over the head.
What kind of world do we live in?
Saturday, here we go. Oh, yeah, and people are turned in for that. Yeah.
For sure. Well, because some guy said something, he didn't live up to a bet. One of the Florida State fans said Georgia Tech was going to.
No one's seen that man.
Yeah, he's disappeared.
He's deleted everything.
He's disappeared.
He's in Barbados or something.
Our program brought to you by G2G Bars. All natural ingredients and no preservatives make the G2G bar.
If Parker Kingston would have eaten a G2G bar,
he would have been fine.
Yeah, he would have been fine. In fact, he would have had enough acceleration across the line that they wouldn't have had to review it for a fumble.
On top of it, he would have had his mind clear too. He wouldn't.
Yeah, he
wouldn't
have muffed it. Yeah, he would have took it back straight up.
All right. It's the cut. Let's jump in. Let's do some Utah Arizona prep and get you ready for the Wildcats and the Utes. Let's do it right here.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
And, of course, this portion of the show brought to you by Doug Smith Dealerships. Kia, Subaru, Chevy, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram. Visit the Doug Smith Dealerships in American Fork and Spanish Fork. Great service starts with know-how, and nobody knows like Doug. All right, let's talk Utes and Wildcats. I know that I don't think the players are that. I'm sure there's some players who have some revenge on their mind from last year's blowout. The coaches claim that they don't have, it's a totally different coaching staff. But there was an element, and Sly, I'm assuming were on the field for that game last year.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a vibe of Arizona doesn't get to do this very often, they better start to rub it in a little bit?
No, because it honestly felt like Arizona felt sad for us because they knew we were down.
That's even worse.
Because I'm looking at doing our pregame show and I'm like, where the heck is everybody? We were down bad. We did not have our whole team out there.
Wow.
It was very bleak, and they were seeing numbers like, where is Cole Bishop? Where is Sione Vake? Where is Lander Lander was injured.
Yeah.
But where are these guys? And it was the only starters we had was our defensive front. So we went to a bare front with Samote Pepa, Keanu Tonavasa, and Junior Tafuna up front. And that was awesome. That was great. But, we didn't have anything else. I didn't know where anybody was. And so, especially in that first half, they got up, 28-0, 35, I think it was 44 or something real short. It honestly, going into that fourth quarter, it felt like Arizona was feeling sorry for us. They started to run. I don't know why they threw the ball with Jada Delora.
Don't you think Delora called his own number there at the end?
He could have, and that's something. I mean, that's a what? Jameis Winston in New Orleans last year. That's why he's in Cleveland this year. He did that. And we wanted to do it for Jamal. We got to get him in the end zone. Boy, what? So we don't truly know, but honestly, that last half of the third quarter, fourth quarter, it felt like Arizona felt sorry for us, and then all of a sudden that happened, which was bizarre. But I tell you what, Scally was pissed. Coach Witt acted like he wasn't pissed. But like, because there's gamesmanship, right? You know, everybody talks about like if you're up in a basketball game, you don't shoot the shot with the shot clock at the end of the game, right? It's the same thing here. Run the football, run it out. Let's go. Let's shake hands. Let's go to the locker room. They throw a touchdown. Guys were pissed, but also at that. This is how I know Coach Witt was pissed. He's like, well, we gotta be ready to go. We gotta, anytime somebody can score on us, which is true, but at the same time, what the heck? So there's a bit about it. I don't take what they tell the media about them not feeling some type of way, because I'll tell you what, getting pumped up for a game is
you need everything.
You need all the bulletin board material.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things that they disrespected us. They didn't do that in our house.
Right.
Oh, no. And so they're going to come with it. We're dressed in all black. We're going to black Air Force. We're going to beat some people down.
No, hold on a minute. I think you were actually on that team that wore the first blackout.
Oh, yeah, I
jerseys,
was.
right?
I petitioned for that. Chris Hill would not bite for the longest. I had to go on campus all off season.
Pass out flyers?
No. I had to get 1,000 signatures.
No.
Oh, yeah, I signed it a couple times. But
You stuffed the ballot box.
I was just like,
call the lieutenant governor. There was something baked into that voting process.
Here's the thing: is like NCAA came out with like the first look, and they had me in it, so I was just like, oh, dope. But the first look at the black jerseys, even before Under Armour came out with it, and I'm just like, yo, if we don't do this, because you got Tennessee, you got everybody doing these blackouts across the country, and Louisville was, awesome at that time. And I'm just like, if we don't freaking do this, this is awesome right here. So Chris Hill did not want to do it. I don't know why. And anyways, I
first
went
blackout game was against TCU, right?
TCU. That was an epic matchup, and then that set the stage because that was one of the loudest times in that stadium's history. And so everybody's kind of like, all right, next blackout game has to be of this magnitude.
And you got to play, and you got to schedule it every year. You get the one.
Oh yeah.
You get to have it. And,
well, you see the new jerseys we get every year, so it's gotten better and better. The looks, the fan apparel is better. Everything is just better.
How do you approach this game then, knowing that, one, you're the massive favorite on this, but you're still not knowing the quarterback situation? How are you supposed to I don't know what you think, how this thing is going to go, because it feels like you know what you're going to get from the defense. I think you know that Utah's going to win this game, but I think that you also kind of go, yeah, but what's going to be the storyline this week? Last week it was Cam didn't play, came out and warmed up, and then Isaac Wilson got thrown in there again. And so what's a version of a success for this week is just to get by and get a win and then just move on and try to get to the bye week and then try to get Cam healthy?
Well, these past couple weeks, I wish us in the media and the coaching staff would take the Pittsburgh Steelers approach of talking about Russell Wilson. He ain't ready to go. We ain't talking about him. Next question. Simple as that. And the thing is, everybody's just playing this game, this emotional roller coaster, and people are sick of it. And honestly, it's building a stain on Cam Rising. He can't help it. His finger's cut.
Right.
We see he can't even throw the freaking ball. So here's the thing in Cam Rising's thing, too, is like he doesn't want to put bad tape out there.
Yeah.
Right? One for his NFL resume, and one if he transfers at the end of this year because he got another year he could play. He don't want to have a stain on your resume.
That was your weirdest tinfoil hat moment, by the way, this week when you were like, well, he could maybe bag this season and then transfer to another school. I'm like, I guess weirder things have happened, but
hey, man, if that tight end at Miami's playing his 9th, 10th year, Cam Rising can definitely play his
We're
age.
seeing a lot of players around the country right now at the end of the fourth game is like saying, I'm out, I'm done.
Yeah. Well,
crazy.
UNLV's quarterback's doing that and bagging the season right now.
Yeah, Washington has a star defensive player that's decided to pull the plug on the season.
Right.
It's crazy.
That's the weirdest version of college football ever, is guys walking away from the game going, I'll see you next year, and I'm available, by the way.
Still got my full ride scholarship.
If you need
Cam
something,
graduated 4 years ago, by the way, folks. I'm just like,
no, but Makai is a little bit like Makai was like, oh, I graduated like 2.5 years ago. Remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
We're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
How's school now? He's like, what? Oh, it's great.
Oh, you mean PE? Oh, I got this bowling class at 10 in the morning. Bowling was awesome, by the way. I did bowling.
Sly makes a great point, though, about the quarterback position. It's just like, I think Isaac's going to play. So let's talk about Isaac Wilson. What can he do against this Arizona team?
Yeah.
the progress. You've seen the progress that he's made. Riley, you can chime in too about the progress that you've seen Isaac Wilson make from being a true freshman, going out there and getting his first few reps, to now going down to Oklahoma State and doing what he did. He's taken a big leap.
The next step for me that I want to see, and it's not going to happen this week, but, like, we saw the Raiola kid at Nebraska against Illinois, and, like, all right, the lights were too bright for him. Like, he looked great up until that point, but, boy, like, what? Like, why do you pick overtime to start, like, walking around inside the pocket? Like, sprint, dude. Show some urgency. He takes 3 sacks out of 4 plays in an overtime. Anyway, and
He's got a nonchalant mentality, though.
Yeah, I guess generally he does,
Yeah.
but like, and the reason why I bring him up is, again, another true freshman that was in high school last year, and like, started off like great, but and honestly was like a lot smoother than Isaac. I'm excited for that because I think Isaac's had some like chops and missteps, the pick right off the bat, and
to be able to throw 2 picks at Oklahoma State and get away with it and still win.
And honestly, he's sitting at 5-5. He had those picks up at Utah State. They kind of like it was shaky, and the next 2 series after the pick at Utah State, they basically just ran the ball, and then they let him throw again. He made some nice throws down the field, and anyway, so I think he wasn't like universal. Like everybody was ready to crown like a Raiola. I don't think anybody's ready to crown. I think people are very enthusiastic about Isaac, but what I'm excited to see him is because he was this guy at Corner Canyon, was like when the chips were down, Care put the ball in his hands, and he led them to an undefeated state championship and a top 20 national ranking. He's kind of like had a welcome to college football moment, but like I said, I don't. You never know, but I just don't see it happening this weekend against Arizona because I think they'll stand on business. But that's really the only next thing I want to see from Isaac is like chips are down. Is this guy, and he's got to make a play. What does that look like? And I think. Again, I think his DNA is that like he's a guy that comes through for you, but you never know until you see it. But he gets a passing grade. I think he gets a good grade thus far. We just need to see him in more situations, and that's one that I want to see him in. I don't think we'll get the luxury this week.
I don't know who the quarterback's going to be this week. I do think that I don't know if I were to guess because we were guessing last week, and it was like. We always get these weird numbers, right? And we were talking with guys during the week, and they're like, yeah, it's an 85, 90% chance. That, I'm like, where's this 15?
Until Cam Rising trots her out on the field first snap, it's just
we've
exactly
done this
right.
multiple times in the last couple of years where he does the entire warm-up, dressed, looks like he's going to be ready to go, and then doesn't come out on the first series.
like you can't like
what is that? Why is he even dressed? You know he's not playing. Why is he even dressed?
you guys played. You were in those moments.
So
Don't you need to know on
that.
Tuesday who your guy is unless it's some kind of weird circumstance?
So hold on. I mean.
Even as a quarterback, you need to be prepared.
Whit in my book is a college, like he's a college Hall of Fame coach and all those things. But like the way that he handles injury, and I don't know, like Slide, you can attest to it, but I don't know that you guys had like critical injuries or whatever. But the way that he handles injury, if he's truly handling it, if people really don't know within his own 4 walls, then like that could probably be the only thing that you could really critique him for in the way that he's handled over the course of his career. I did that, and you look at Russ, and I think the Steelers are doing that same thing because they dress Russ for every game, and you talked about what Cam has done. I did that, but the team knew it was like, Riley, you are emergency. Like when I was limited with my back or when I broke my hand, it was like, hey, we're giving all the reps to Taysom or we're giving all the reps to James Lark, and we knew that all going on in the week. I would get a few at the end. I would get some in walkthrough just to kind of keep me fresh, and I'd come out fully dressed. But it was only if he gets hurt and he gets hurt, you're going to come in and hand the ball off just because we need someone to operate in and out of the huddle. But you're right. It doesn't seem to be given that kind of vibe of Cam. It truly is like we go in from warm-ups and then everyone's waited with bated breath. But I did that. I dressed even though I knew I was going to be out, but I wasn't really out because I was break glass in case of emergency.
But what would it have done to your team if they made you get all the reps all week and then you're a game-time decision? Like you can't invest all of those reps and all of that preparation into somebody who's a game-time decision, can you?
No, you can't, but I wonder if that's really going on. If that's really going on,
we don't know.
Nobody can go to practice.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if that's really going on.
So the week before it was Isaac got all the reps, all the first team reps. Last week it was we split up the days, wondering what.
Yeah, they shifted midweek.
But then I wonder what
because his progress wasn't happening.
It was really bad. So
he took
right, and then we all saw what he looked like in warm-ups, and so then you're kind of like, oh, what are we doing? So I think you're right, JJ. I think you just go look if you're a Ute fan. Until Cam gets under center, and I would even say gets under center healthy, because if you try to rush it back, obviously a finger situation. Last week we were breaking down all sorts of like
Avulsion fractures.
Avulsion fractures. We start talking about what lacerations. Well, that's a 5 to 7 day process there, JJ. Like the reality is, who cares? Because Cam, whether or not he plays or not tomorrow, I think they win this game. I think that you put all your chips into the basket of Isaac Wilson, and you win this game tomorrow. I'm not saying for the rest of the year. I'm saying for this week.
Well, you beat Arizona. You got a bye week. You've got a soft October schedule.
Do we believe Whit that like Arizona? I mean, they only mustered up 22 points against Northern Arizona.
They only scored 7 against
Kansas State. Do we really believe Whit that like coming off a bye week, they're going to fix some things, and we're going to start to see the Fafita and T-Mac that we saw last year? Yeah,
right. And you talk about Fafita and T-Mac, their third down conversion percentage again, 36%.
Not good.
That's
94th overall. Do you know who's one of the best third down conversion defenses in the country? Utah. They are 7th in the country, 22%.
Woo! All
right.
1 and 5.
It's gonna be a long day.
Oklahoma State for the Oklahoma State was
Did they go over? They were pretty close.
They held the ball for 14 minutes of the game.
Baylor couldn't get a third down
and
either.
off.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. We're late to this one. We'll get right back when we come back. We've got tons to jump into and still some more things to break down. What are the expectations now for BYU and for BYU fans? I know it can be unreasonable, but what's a reality check for BYU at 4-0? And do you know enough about this team to make any predictions going forward? We'll take the break here. We'll come back. We got more to go. We are at Roy High School in Roy, Utah. Roy Royals versus the Woods Cross. What are they, the Wildcats?
Yes, that's correct.
It's alliteration, okay? You get the alliterations going on.
They had no choice. They had to
Roy
be
Royals, Woods Cross, Wildcats, okay? So we're going to come back. We got more to go. 97.5 Zone.
It's a Friday, and we're talking football non-stop. All football, all the time. This is another edition of Football Friday with JJ and Alex. Presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
We are at Roy High School, scene of Roy versus Woods Cross tonight for Game Night Live. Alex Curie, Jeremiah Jensen. JJ and Alex is your program. Stevenson Sylvester and Riley Nelson also here for our usual Football Friday breakdowns. That's funny you did that. You do have to get ready for the winter, but it's hard to talk about getting your parking lot cleared of snow when it's 95 degrees out.
Yeah, that's not a thought today.
That's fine.
But it will be soon.
It will be. Yeah, we'll turn a corner. It'll get cold here in a minute. All right, we've got tons going on. And, of course, Utah State's not playing this week. And BYU and Utah both facing off in Game 2 of their conference schedule for this season. BYU
and then they'll both be off next week, right?
Yep, both have the same bye weeks. Both weeks of their – because every team
next week and then the week before the game.
First weekend of October, first weekend of November.
That's exactly right.
I was telling Alex we got to do some huge promos for the Holy War this year.
There is going to be –
we got to get guys in the studio.
Hey, listen, luckily somebody heard you yesterday in the building. That or we all had like a meeting a couple weeks ago where it was like, listen, we have – 12 days to get ready for this thing. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be, and that's why we're all praying for good, nice national rankings for both teams, going into this one. And so, I don't know about undefeated. That's a little bit of a high bar, but I do think that
it's possible.
Well, Utah could be. I don't know.
No, even for BYU,
Utah that Friday night game at Arizona State is the one where I think they might get tripped up. Just because it's a little bit short week, and in Phoenix on a Friday night is going to be a little bit wild.
If that's the one you're worried about, then I think you'll be okay.
I know, but that's the only one I'm worried about. And then obviously Utah's got Oklahoma State and Central Florida in front of them, and then also
BYU's got
there's a third team.
BYU's got
they've got the toughest, no question.
So they got to go. So you got this week, of course, going down to Baylor. They host Arizona after their bye week. And then they go.
Yeah, so not. I mean, obviously you got to get past this week, which I'm significantly worried about this. But if I were to rank them, I think going to Orlando is the biggest, is the toughest test. Oklahoma State is second, Baylor's third, Arizona at home next week or in 2 weeks after the bye week is
Baylor's
the least.
third. I'd put Baylor second on that.
Above which one?
It's
above Oklahoma State? Yeah, on the road.
They're both. I just saw
getting Oklahoma State at home. Yeah, and I didn't realize they'd released the kick for that Oklahoma State game in LaVell Edwards Stadium.
Friday?
Yeah, might get some magic there.
Yeah, I would pick BYU to beat Oklahoma State.
just based off of last week alone, you kind of go, those guys
they
didn't
lost
show
some
up.
luster.
Yeah.
No doubt. They can't run the football. And their quarterback, I don't trust him.
I don't know if Ollie Gordon.
Their defense is
They
good.
say health, but I'm just like, he was running the football. I'm like, they were purposely trying to let Bowman win. I'm just like, he's not that guy. Where do you see it? Even on film that I saw going into the game, I'm like, he's not that guy for you to not give Ollie Gordon 25-plus carries.
Riley, they brought your truck through. That was nice of them.
Oklahoma State just having so much trouble with their offensive line getting any kind of push in the run game.
Well, I'll tell you.
They're not winning the line of scrimmage.
That's true.
Which
Hey,
is shocking.
No.
You know the way to get – hold on really quick. So we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, okay, so they're 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're talking 8-0. You know what you got to do before you get to 8-0? You got to get to 5-0. So that's the task that lies before the Cougars.
No, no. Listen, it's the reality.
Hey,
is
we're
that
in the radio. We could speak in the future now.
I'm gonna roll. Listen, I'm glad you said it. I'm sure it's never been said in that locker room this week. It was just like, no one believes us but us. Like that was like the message. Like no one. Look, you. I think Connor Pay. So Coach Shiitake sets the tone with this because during the week he's kind of like, you guys don't give us any credit. You guys are all cynical in the media. And it was like, oh, my gosh, he's going after us. And then after the win, it was like, well, we weren't surprised by it. And then what did Connor Pay tell us on Monday? We're not surprised by it.
Right.
You guys are. A bunch of you national media people. I'm like, Connor, quit staring at us and saying that every week that we're – the national – or you media people, man. No, he always says, dude, the media doesn't even know what they're talking about. I'm all, anyway, welcome back to the program. Connor.
Hey, guess what, Connor? You're media right now, dude.
I know. You're on the show for 30 minutes.
You're cashing checks to be part of our –
exactly.
Let's go. So, in the end, I don't know.
No, but on this point, like, I feel so bad that, like, obviously it was hype Saturday night, but it was very quickly into Sunday in text threads and at church and talking with everybody that I was like, hey, that's great, but I feel so bad that I do this, but I'm going to admit publicly in front of everybody. Like, I was like, we've seen these big wins in September before. Like, I want to see a big win in November. Yep. But why am I, like, what is it in me that has to, like, suppress it down? As a fan, if you don't let yourself, like, shoot to the moon with elation, then what are you even doing? I should be thinking that we got a shot at the playoff and that we are going to play for a conference title. Instead, I'm like, no, I'm going to reserve judgment until we win a game in November.
You're like somebody who's had some bad relationships and you've been hurt over the years, and now you're just
there's
no way you're never going to open your heart up to anybody ever again.
What way to live life is that?
It's pretty miserable.
What's your relationship like with your mom and dad?
With your
Riley?
father, yeah.
Come on.
But it's a lot better
Did your
than
father
getting hurt
not give
again.
you hugs?
So, did you not get the ball thrown to you in your front yard? Come on. No, but you're shaped by the experiences that you've had, which is, and as so many of, because I was telling JJ this, I have the same people who text me every year, right? And it's close friends of mine, and there's nobody in the middle. Everybody is, yeah, but this team, I still think this team stinks, right? Or this is the best team I've ever seen. Those are the two texts that I get.
Wait, where am I? I am. We'll see. Is that in the middle?
No, it is.
Or is that?
We'll see
This
in the
team
middle.
stinks?
No, we'll see. We'll see. Is
That's
in the
where
middle.
I am.
No, I absolutely. It's totally normal to go, hey, I don't know. It's only 4 games in, and again, to quote Connor Pay from this week, what did he say? He goes, dude, no one cares if we win 4 games. Who cares if we win 4 games? And Vegas is like this. Actually, we care because we set you at 4.5. We set that win total at 4.5, and we could get people could be cashing in the overs this week. So I get it. It's because I think a lot of fans have seen this before. It's the same thing that Utah is doing, except for, I mean, it's the same reason you get the angst about Cam Rising, because every week, how many times are we going to have this conversation? Oh, man, I think they're really good. Oh, man, Cam Rising looks like he's really good. I heard he's going to play this week. I heard he's 100%. I heard his hand, he's wearing a robotic, whatever.
I heard he has tetanus and he's going to die.
Right. So all of these different
I heard
things.
his back hurts because he just got landscaping duties.
Well, now you're.
Does anybody else's fingers hurt?
Kyle Whittingham comes in.
You know what?
Cam, you will go to sleep or I will put you to sleep.
Kyle Whittingham as Ben Stiller and Happy Gilmore is an underrated, very, very apt comparison. All right. But this BYU team, I think it's hilarious because ESPN's computers have BYU as the 5th best chances to win the conference championship. Now, going to the conference championship is even a very, very, very long shot, I think, for anybody who was at the very bottom of the conference last year. However, it does go along with the narrative of this conference, which is we have no idea who the best team is in this conference every other year. We have no clue who the best team. Kansas is 1-3, and we were about to be like, oh yeah, they're
You have no clue who the best teams are, but do you have a clue who like might not be the best teams? You know what I mean? Like I see
then
this
I'm a little bit because Kansas is honestly why how did we even buy into Kansas for 1 second? I get Lance Leipold's a pretty good coach, but Kansas has been futile for a century and a half of their football program. So when people
we see above average talented player like pulling the trigger at quarterback, but like, oops, he can't stay healthy. Like,
well, and he's thrown 6 picks, I think, so far this year, fumbled 3 times. So he's responsible for 9 turnovers total. So I don't know. I don't know. BYU getting a 7% chance at the conference title, that feels all right because 7% is not very good.
But it also can feel I kind of like it from a motivational standpoint because here you've done everything that's been asked. Like you've won all your games,
and you're still only
you're still only getting middle of the pack love, which is good because you can beat that drum that like, all right, we'll show them us against the world. Like our boy Brent just got given a Roy versus everybody homecoming shirt. You know, BYU versus
Roy,
everybody.
By the way, is 6-0 and they beat everybody. And they're like,
us versus everybody. No one believes in us.
We're the underdogs. Yeah, Nobody believes in us.
See, again, you got to take that. That's what you have to do. Every coach should take a lesson out of the Kyle Whittingham book of motivation, which is anything can motivate you. If you look at it, if you squint at something long enough, you can motivate yourself with it. So I'm convinced that that's the way that
verbal meme Michael Jordan, and I took that personally.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly how you motivate yourself. Every week there's something.
And that's what BYU's been doing all year.
Speaking of which,
again, they're underdogs at Baylor.
Guys like MJ,
you're ranked in the top 25, and you're an underdog at Baylor.
Oh yeah, guys like MJ, guys like Tom Brady, they manufactured rivalries in their head, right? Teams are like, oh no, I actually don't. We don't feel that way about you at all. Are you disrespecting me for 1 second? You're like, no way.
I know this movie's vulgar. I kind of just seen clips from it.
Hey, Jeremy, get your finger on that dump button.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
When he was talking to himself, I didn't say that to you, man. I didn't say that to you.
Yeah.
No, it was. It's crazy, and you got to do that, right?
Yeah.
That's how you get yourself pumped up. You got to have. The season's long. And so when you get monotonous in practices every week, you got to get these guys ready to go. Football is so hard because you play once a week, right? And you mess up 1 week, it affects the entire season. It's not like basketball where I can make up for that loss that I had. You know, you get one opportunity to whoop BYU's butt, you know, and that's November 9th. I can't wait for it.
Oh, okay. No one even talked about that, and then it came up. No one was even talking about it. We weren't talking about the rivalry game. We were just talking about this week. We're only focused on the we're only focused on the
1 week at a time.
There's one goal in the season, baby. I suffered that week.
I know. I love how they're like, no, Oklahoma State's our biggest game of the year. It's like, okay, get out with yourself. All right, let's take a break. Hey, it's time for the KSL Sports Zone UFC giveaway. Our UFC ticket giveaway. Riley, ineligible. Can't win these tickets. Your chance to win a pair of tickets to UFC 307 at Delta Center on October 5th. Visit KSLSports.com/contest right now. Click the UFC 307 ticket giveaway button, and then enter the keyword. It's takedown. Takedown is today's keyword, so you enter that one, and you can enter yourself to win those tickets to UFC 307 at Delta Center. Isn't it funny? We're just getting – look, having UFC like in multiple years in a row.
How cool is it to have it? We have it every year.
I know.
And with title fights, 2 title fights. You got the women's and you got Pajeda. He's going to kill the guy.
Pajeda. Listen to your
is that how you say the Brazilian?
I assume. Oh, yeah.
I served in Spain, so it's Pajeda. Yeah. That's the
Pajeda.
But you like put the R as like an H?
Yeah.
Or is that only at the beginning?
Rafael Araujo?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll get that pronunciation down.
Even though I'm not eligible, I'm still going to be there. I'd love it.
Oh,
Nothing like fight energy, man.
UFC 307 ticket giveaway. To go to KSLSports.com/contest. Keyword today is takedown. We've been doing the keywords all week. We'll come back. We got more to go. The NIL in college football. Hey, somebody offered up to pay Matthew Sluka's what is it? The $100,000, right?
Yeah.
A casino came forward. We'll talk about that next. And is he going to end up coming back? The answer is no. But still, that's $100,000 not a lot of money, UNLV. What's your problem? All right, we'll come back. We got more to go. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
And now, a look at traffic from the KSL Traffic Center.
Well, delays continue on I-15 along the Wasatch Front. If you're in Utah County,